Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Monday night panel. Busy one this evening. We will be reviewing, thankfully, another win on Saturday. We'll be looking ahead to a very congested fixture list as well, and hopefully one or two of your memories of Christmases past. So in news, just one quick bit from me. You may have seen that the Newport home fixture impacted by our FA Cup success has come in as a rearrangement today. So it's now on Wednesday, the 11th of February, with an 8 p.m. kickoff, and that's because it's televised. So that's just news out today and a new fixture for you. So without further ado, I will bring Vic on. Evening, Vic.
Evening, Ray. Where's your Santa hat? It should be fully visible. Anyway, you don't want to look an idiot like I do, so that's fair enough. I've got some SAS travel news for you. MK, Cheltenham and Harrogate all sold out now. The first two coaches for Salford are almost full, so you need to be quick if you want to get onto one of those. Now, for let's have it. Salford departs West Swindon at 8:15 a.m. The Nigel Eady County Ground at 8:45 a.m. Members £29, non-members £31. So that's for Salford. The first coach for Luton almost full. That's in the Virtue Motors Trophy, of course. Departs West Swindon at 2 o'clock. The Nigel Eady County Ground at 2:30. Members £21, non-members £23. And if you're going to MK on the buses on Boxing Day, it's 10:30 from West Swindon, 11 o'clock from the Nigel Eady County Ground. So that's your SAS travel news for this evening. Thanks very much indeed to Laura for that. And thank you very much indeed to SAS Travel, who get us there and back again safely week in, week out to all the various away games around the country. We send them our festive greetings on this time of the year. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Vic, I'll bring the panel on. It's a big panel tonight, so bear with me.
Okay.
So, good evening, Liam.
Hi, Ray. Hi, Vic. Hi, everybody.
Good evening, Gus.
Hi, everybody. Thanks.
Good evening, Rob.
Evening, all.
Good evening, Declan.
Good evening.
Good evening, Anna.
Hello.
And last but not least, good evening, Mike.
Hello all.
Hello. And actually, we've got a very special guest who's joining me tonight. So he's watching So Be Good. He's still doing the lists. There we are. Santa's with us. So he's got a naughty but nice list. So there we are. Thanks very much indeed, Ray. I should also say we would like to say our best wishes to Caroline Lane, whose superb organisation of the Junior Reds Party on Thursday evening. It was a fantastic time had by all, and thanks to everybody who helped there as well. So well done, Caroline, for all the work that you do at Swindon Town Football Club. I think everybody appreciates what you do for the supporters. Thank you very much indeed, and best wishes. Right, Saturday then, Swindon Town 1, Crawley 0. The match was described as minging by the manager, Ian Holloway. I don't think there's too many people who would disagree with that. Just for you, Gus, I'm not terribly sure what you know about the term minging, but it's not very good. Let's leave it at that. Liam, what was your view of that 1-0 victory over Crawley?
Ugly, but we won.
Yeah.
And Finley Monroe got a penalty. Didn't create a penalty. And the foul on Finley Monroe to get us the penalty was no different than Aaron Drinnan's last week. And he got booked and then he got sent off. Yeah. But if you look, it's very similar. So it just shows yet again the inconsistency and the poor refereeing that we have at this level. We've got part-time referees, and the inconsistency is that we always end up talking about them, I'm afraid, which I've just done. But they weren't very good, and we were slightly better, if I'm honest with you, is how it felt. There wasn't that many chances. They seemed to have more than ours. And Connor Ripley had a good match, didn't he? He had a really good match. And he's shown real leadership as part of the spine. And we missed leadership until Tafts came on. That made a real difference. So we didn't look like losing once he came on. But we didn't.
Connor Ripley, he's been in good form, hasn't he? He's made one or two really crucial saves of late. Strong hands, I think they describe it as in the trade, don't they? I mean, he's certainly got those, hasn't he?
Since Ward's had a really good game against Peterborough in in the whatever it is, Johnson's Paint Virtue something or other. I think he's been really good, Conor Ripley, and that's been excellent. But I mean, it's great actually. It's not often that I've just chastised the referee, but it's not often that they change a decision at this level because they don't have VAR to make them change those decisions. So I'll give him credit that he did actually listen to the linesman at that point and did take on board that he got it wrong. But I don't know if it was necessarily a penalty if you're being consistent with what it was at Bristol Rovers, and you know we've lost the best striker in the second division from 2 dodgy decisions a week on. And I know we're here to talk about Crawley, but let's not forget that we're going to miss him on Boxing Day against MK Dons based on 2 dodgy, inconsistent decisions, including the first one, where as Sam Morshead put in the Moonraker very, very eloquently, that he gave a number of examples in his article that throughout that day, including Joe Snowden, players didn't get booked for just putting their hands up in front of a crowd. And Aaron did. And I'm sorry to start with that, but I think it's a really key element to take into account because if we lose on against Milton Keynes, they've gained 3 points on us. And if Aaron was playing and he got a couple of goals, it'd be a different matter.
We got a hat trick there, of course, in the Virtue Motors. We shouldn't forget that. I mean,
indeed.
It's a different contest, and obviously, different sides and stuff. But he did get a hat trick.
We won ugly against Creepy Crawley, so I'm happy.
Yeah, fair enough. 3 points. We'll go through the league table and everything else in a little while on the lineups, etc. The referee on Saturday, of course, was Lee Doughty. His assistants, Jonathan Bickerdike and Matt McGrath, and the fourth official was Callum Fisk. Watching from the United States then, Gus, what was your view of the game?
I think Liam and I must have sat on the same couch and watched the exact same game because I had many of the same feelings. It was a hard game to watch. You kept wanting us to look like we looked in previous games, and a lot of times we just never did. I thought Crawley was really good at passing in close quarters. There were a whole bunch of times in the middle of the field where, they looked very skillful, and we were just chasing them around a lot of times. Some of the big long passes that we've been doing to Monroe up the left flank, or kind of where we've been pressing forward, didn't work. We weren't getting kind of the connections that we seemed like we've been getting in previous games. If I had a man of the match, it'd be Conor Ripley. He saves us time and time again. It could have been 3-1 or it could have been 3-0, or I guess Monroe could have been, red carded out of the game and they could have gotten that goal as well. I did go back to look and see in our first 10 games, we scored 20 goals, and in our last 10 games, we scored 13. So we're definitely falling off on productivity. And I guess the question I'd ask the people who know more than me is it something we're doing, or have our opponents figured us out?
Yeah,
we need to come up with some new tricks.
Yeah, they're probably trying to make it more difficult, and you could see that Crawley was set up well to stop us scoring. It's that simple. By the way, I'm going to just mention your beautiful log fire in the background, which looks fantastic and very nice and festive. Tony has asked me, let's have a look. He wanted to know what time the bus was leaving for Cheltenham on the 29th, a week today. Departs West Swindon at 4:30, and the Nigel Eady County Ground at 5 o'clock. So that's 4:30 at West Swindon, 5 o'clock at the County Ground. It is, of course, an evening kickoff at Cheltenham next Monday. Sean says, sign a promotion side when you can still win despite performance. It wasn't great, Rob, was it? Let's be honest. Who has a similar hat to mine. Anna's is much more spectacular, I have to say. But the game itself was, well, minging is a good word, I think it's fair to say, isn't it?
It was grim, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was in keeping with the conditions for most of the last few weeks. To be fair, it was just a grim game, and at no point did you feel like a game of football was about to break out at any stage, did you? That was the problem, especially when Crawley players were down time wasting inside the first 7 minutes. If somebody can just explain to me how you get 2 minutes of stoppage time in the first half and 8 minutes in the second, when Crawley players have been down for the first 5 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the game, I really can't explain that. But there you go. But that is such is life in our division, as Liam has already alluded to. Refereeing standards need to be improved significantly, and the inconsistencies we could talk about till we're blue in the face. And it's been starkly played out to us in the course of the last two games. Because, as we rightly pointed out, both of those bookings for Aaron Drennan last week were wrong. And you can't appeal two bookings if someone gets sent off. That is a complete and utter fallacy. How on earth the lawmakers of this game did not allow you to appeal what becomes a red card, even if they are two yellows, is absolutely beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. Anyway, rant over. I've done enough of that. It's back to Christmas spirit. We won against Crawley.
Yeah.
And those 3 points, when we get towards the end of the season, may turn out to be the most crucial 3 points of the season. Because looking at that run of fixtures that we've got now, had we not beaten Crawley, this is a really tough Christmas.
Yeah.
We're going to Milton Keynes on Saturday, Boxing Day, which we all know is not a great ground that generally we do particularly well at. We did win in the trophy, but generally speaking, we don't win there very often. We've then got the team that I love to hate away from home, where we know we get next to no results ever. And even when we got one last season, it felt like we got beat because of the way we nearly threw it away towards the end.
Yeah.
And then we got Gillingham on New Year's Day, which we all has got its rivalries in the past, and again are a tough side to play against. And then after that, of course, it's Harrogate, and Harrogate again, although having a poor season, another ground we do historically very poorly at. So this little run of fixtures now, although lots of player teams may look at that and think actually Swindon might get some points against those teams, we all know they're not teams that we generally do particularly well against. So we've got to buck the trend there. If we'd had started that with a poor home defeat by Crawley, that would have just set the alarm bells ringing a little bit. But that 3 points, those 3 points, that penalty decision, and holding on for our fourth clean sheet in 5, it should be said, because that suddenly changed our outlook on our division a little bit more. Gus mentioned the goals for going in the wrong direction, but the goals against are definitely going in the right direction. So from that perspective, that's why we're suddenly keeping our position. And that's what we're going to have to do a lot more of over the course of the next 2 weeks. So I think we'll need to defend extremely well in those 4 fixtures.
Sean has mentioned the handball by the Crawley keeper, which is a very good point, actually. It seemed to me he was outside the box and then, hey, wasn't given, was it? Daz says, Lee Swaby, best referee this season at SM1 so far, Shrewsbury at home and the FA Cup against Bolton. On watching the EFL highlights, goodness only knows how many players we see celebrating in the same manner as Drinan or Drinan, whichever you want to say, no cards. And Crawley were lucky they didn't have the goalkeeper sent off, handball outside the box and being the last man. Yeah, Declan, discuss. I mean, you watch Gaelic football a lot. And I mean, that seemed pretty much Gaelic football to me. I've got to say, it looked handball, not given by the referee. What can you say?
Yeah, and I saw an incident in the Crewe game on Saturday, which was pretty similar. In fact, it was more blatant than that, and the referee didn't send the goalkeeper off. So consistency is the problem. In relation to Saturday, Vic, I would say that we chiselled out the victory. To be fair, it was hard work. We played Cheltenham at home, as we know, quite recently. That didn't go so well. A team in a similar position to Crawley, although slightly perhaps more on an upward trajectory since Steve Cottrell came in. I think we learned our lessons reasonably well from that game on Saturday. And as some of the lads have said there, it was a very, very important 3 points. Come April or May, when you look back at the season, hopefully we're celebrating promotion to League One, either as champions or in the automatic promotion places. You look back at a game like that. Over the course of the last 2 games, we've had 2 clean sheets, picked up 6 points against struggling teams, improved our goal difference by 4 as well, which could be very important as well. So there's a lot of positives there, and looking forward now to Friday, to the visit to the MK Dons, and it'll be an interesting Christmas period. I think after Monday we'll know pretty much what kind of position we're in, how strong we are in terms of going forward for the second half of the season. Because if I'm not mistaken, Friday's game is exactly the halfway point of the season in the league.
Hang on, I'll tell you. Friday's game will be the 22nd.
22nd, so one short.
Yeah, one
so
short.
Monday's
Yeah,
game
so
is halfway.
all but okay. Yes, yeah. I'll give you the league table in a minute. Anna, with a more spectacular Santa hat than mine and Rob's, ours is pretty pathetic in comparison. What would be your view on? I mean, the thing is with it, in the course of a season, you are going to get games like that, and you could lose those 1-0. They could the overturning of the penalty. I don't think many of us have seen that very often, have we? Where a penalty gets overturned. So it could have gone the other way quite easily, couldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay described Crawley's performance afterwards as outstanding. Well, they scored 0, so it can't quite have been outstanding. But I take his point that they were more creative than us. They carved out better chances. They probably pinpointed Gavin Kilkenny as someone to stop. And I think when the opposition does that, you know, the outlet that he provides in terms of attacking those balls through, he can play. That they didn't exist, did they, really, Saturday? He was well shackled. And we've got to find a way of getting him a minder, I think, because that's kind of the role when Clark's been playing more recently in midfield that he's been playing. He allows that space to happen for Kilkenny, which Oldacre doesn't, much as I actually, although controversially maybe, I quite like Oldacre. He's not the same player. So we've got to think about that steel of shepherding the space for Kilkenny. It was a terrible game. It was a terrible game. I came away thinking, you know, did we really win that? And the only thing I could remember in my head, really thinking about the whole 90-odd minutes, was Ripley's fantastic save, Palmer putting the penalty away. There really wasn't a lot else, was there? You know, it was a bit mind-numbing. So we've got to find a way when teams come and, you know, waste time from the start at the county ground, try and stop us playing. You know, we've got to find a way to do it. And Saturday we did, to be fair. You know, 3 points is what counted. And if we have to grind them out at home, you know, and win a few more away, then so be it. You know, but it quite often happens as well, doesn't it, that when you shore up at the back, the outlets, you know, the chances you create in the offensive half tend to dry up a little bit as well. So it'd be nice to have both. It'd be nice to have clean sheets and hat tricks and 5 goal hauls, but you know, maybe we've got to settle for one or the other.
I'd love to see Powell Glatzel get a goal. I mean, he's really trying hard. Tabor came on Saturday and ran around quite well as well. So just a goal for one of those two in the next couple of games is something that I would really hope for.
I think everybody wants to see Jake Tabor get a goal. I mean, Arsenal won championships marked by grinding out 1-0 victories, didn't they? They were famous for it, 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know, that's the way to go, isn't it? If you got to win ugly, you'll win ugly.
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of English teachers' words for Saturday: turgid and soporific. How about that?
Very good.
You like those?
Very nice.
Yeah, so it was. Anna's right. It was really unmemorable, wasn't it? But they are the wins that take you up, aren't they? When you look at a season, there are going to be several of those. I can remember the Welland season. I think was it Stevenage? We beat 1-0 when Owen Doyle scored a last minute goal, and that was similar. It was just really poor fare. But it doesn't matter in some ways. What I'd say is we're 40 points, we're joint top after 22 games, which is excellent. We'd have all snapped anybody's hand off if they told us that at the start of the season. So we've got to be happy with that. I think there have been recent games, not just Saturdays, which have been similar. I call them wars of attrition, where it just seems to be really difficult to break teams down. Cheltenham was another example. Tranmere, the narrow home win. That would have been a draw had it not been for Munro's fantastic strike at the end. Newport away, very tough, very similar. I think we really miss Brennan. I think we have to invest in 2 or 3 players when it comes to the January window. It's absolutely essential we do that to maintain the current position, if not improve on it. We miss pace in wide areas. We've not got people to beat defenders in the Butterworth mould now that he's injured. And therefore, we play quite a lot of games in front of teams, and most teams can manage with that. We've got to try and get behind teams, get some pace down the flanks. And so I think a minimum of 2 and possibly 3 players are required in the window.
Yeah. Now, John, he was our Northern correspondent, but he's not now, has come in with the backgrounds. So you're all going to be judged on this. With the spirit of Christmas in the air, no brickbats tonight, and it's nice to see Mark's kitchen again. Warning for Gus, though, there has been a sighting of a mysterious figure wandering about under your landing. I think that might be Mrs. Gus, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? And Anna has taken heed by putting a hat on. Good Christmas all. Well done, John. Thanks very much indeed for that. Lovely. Oh, hang on. He sent me another message. Oh, right. Okay. He called me in the middle of all that, and he didn't mean to. I won't use the term that he used, but there we are. Hi, Tony. Personally, I think that club players should be more disciplined and turn their backs to away supporters and face the Swindon supporters to celebrate. We stop all these yellow cards, thinking officials got it in for players overreading the game. I think the point Tony's making is, should you stand in front of the opposition supporters and put your arms out in celebration or not? Maybe we'll discuss that later. Right, let's have a look at the lineup on Saturday. It was a 4-2-3-1. Ripley in goal. Ball, Knight, LaBelle, who I thought was excellent, and Mabete and Munro across the back, with Tavazzoli coming on for Mabete on 64. Kilkenny and Nichols in the engine room, Wright coming on 79 minutes for Nichols. Then Snowden, Tabor replacing him on 85. Glatzel, Oldacre, McGregor on 64 minutes for him. And then up front, a yellow for Ollie Palmer. The only yellow for a Swindon player, that was in 90 plus 8 minutes. The sort of moving around the players, he's got to use his squad, Liam, hasn't he? I mean, this is a tough old time.
Yeah, he's using every available player at the moment, hasn't he? I think apart from Danny Gonzalez, I picked up that he was the only one that was not actually in the squad on Saturday. I mean, it's great that we got Gratz and Taft back on Saturday, but we're still missing 2. I mean, we got 2 of the loanees out relatively long term as well, haven't we? Until at least the middle of January, if not beyond that. So it's quite tough at the moment. More importantly, I've just picked up on you saying about 40 points. Carlisle went down last year with 42 points. So are we safe yet?
Well, Rob will tell you 48 points is what we need.
48 points, definitely.
Yeah. So in a half a season, you would expect them to pick up 8 points. I think it's fair to say.
I'm just doing this. I mean, Gus, we always look on the wrong side of everything. It's always a half pint empty. It's never a half pint full. And so it's great that we're nearly safe.
It certainly is. Yeah.
I mean, to have 40 points. I mean, I'd like to see a league table for the calendar year in our league, because I think we'd be nearly top.
No, I think we probably would. Yeah.
I think we would. And I think that's excellent stuff. So, yeah, we do need to somehow strengthen the squad, but we also make sure for the first January window in years that we hang on to people as well. And that we keep that strong, really. It's going to be a tough few weeks, isn't it? We've got 4 games, haven't we, now coming up in 9 days. So that's going to be quite tough indeed, isn't it? Am I right? Isn't it Boxing Day? Boxing Day's Friday. So
Friday.
I'm right. Yeah, 4 games.
Then the 29th, then the 1st, and then the 4th.
And then Harrogate on the Sunday the 4th.
Yeah,
so
and then the FA Cup the following Saturday.
Gus, go to Harrogate. That's very nice.
We've had this discussion. He will not go. Gus will not go to Harrogate.
It's very nice. It's the only place where our fans say they want to stay there, don't they?
Yes.
They chant, don't they?
They do.
Sorry, Vic, just in relation to the Drinnan incident at Bristol last week, I mean, I thought the linesman or the referee more so could have come over and maybe just ushered him away. Looking at it, I don't think he did anything wrong per se, but a little bit of common sense from the referee would have avoided that particular situation last week.
Yeah. Sean says Bolton great performance followed by Cheltenham. Bristol great performance followed by Crawley. Does that mean a great performance Friday then? Well, let's hope so. I'll get to this in a minute. It's a question from Kevin. What do we need to strengthen in January for the promotion push? I guess one player I've forgotten his name. I was just going to say your favourite player from last season, Gus. You said you were going to have a Danny
Butterworth.
Yes. Of course, we could really do with him now driving forward from midfield, couldn't we? He's a big miss, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things that I think we've been missing is kind of picking their defense apart by pushing hard, by really trying to slash in and get behind their line. It seems like we're trying to bring the ball up by passing around in kind of the first row, right by Connor Ripley, or doing goal kicks, which I'm not a fan of 50-50 goal kicks generally because you give the ball away half the time. You know, a guy like Danny Butterworth or Prince Will, you know, he hasn't gotten too many chances. I know people may be down on him a little bit right now. I don't know if we've ever really seen Prince Will come into his own, or maybe even completely given him the chances that he needs. But one thing that I'm not going to second guess is player choice. I mean, Coach Holloway certainly knows better than me who the players should be and what they're doing in practice. The one other thing I was going to mention as well, we really suffer when Aaron Drynen's not in the game. It is really tough. He's got 11 goals. Next closest, Ollie Palmer with 5. You know, he leads in a lot of different ways, not just kicking the ball in the goal. And we suffer when he's not around. You could see it in the Crawley game. It just was, you know, difficult. Although I will say we did have a few chances. Glatzel had a really good chance. Ollie Palmer had a really good chance. You know, the ball doesn't always go in when you kick it. Also to say the other team there was one goal that, I mean, it's hard to imagine that the guy missed the ball. It was 4 feet in front of the goal. Connor Ripley did not touch it. He just kicked it. How you even got the angle to kick it over the goal from where he was is hard to even imagine.
That was late on as well, wasn't it, Gus? If I remember right, it was quite late on in the game.
It was late on. It was amazing. And I learned something new. I actually have done a informal survey here in the United States, and I asked people, if you say you're chuffed, do you think you're happy or mad? And 100% of Americans think that you would be angry if you were chuffed.
Oh no, we'd be chuffed with 3 points on Saturday.
I know. It's not a word we use here, and it sounds like a bad thing to us. So I heard people saying chuffed, and I had to do some research.
English language, eh?
Yes.
We'll ask an English teacher later about that.
We're not very good at it sometimes.
No, well, we're not either, really. Right, let's go to this question, Rob. Kevin says, what do we need to strengthen in January for promotion push? Now, Gus was talking about Aaron Dryden on. I mean, that was a perfect game for him, wasn't it? Saturday, ball over the top, Dryden runs on, blah 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 blah. But what do we need? Do we need a new striker? We need strikers. We need defenders or midfield players. Where do we want?
We've just covered everybody there.
Yeah, I know.
We need a new team, and we're second in the league. We're doing all right, really, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, what do we say? I mean, I think the most obvious glaring omission at the moment, and we've already alluded to it across both Liam and Gus, is we have no replacement for Danny Butterworth. We had Botan Amin last season, who effectively could do the same sort of job that Butterworth was doing, albeit still a young lad. Both of those are no longer with us in terms of either moved on or injured. So we have to find somebody who can do that job. Credit at the moment to Joe Snowden, who is trying his damnedest to try and fill that role. He seems to be trying to fill virtually every role on the pitch at the moment, because he seems to be the player who is the most versatile, I would say, just at this stage. And he's suddenly hit a great scoring patch as well, which is really, really good as far as our chances are concerned. But no, we have to strengthen there. We definitely need some wide players. We need somebody with real pace to frighten defenders to get in behind. But I'm more concerned, if I'm truly honest, about our lack of depth in the centre of midfield, especially without Ollie Clark. Because Tom Nichols, he's a converted midfield player, doing a fantastic job, but he's converted into a midfield player. Gav Kilkenny, as we've said before, he does need somebody to look after him. If you can get him on the ball and find space, he's as good as anyone in this division, and probably anyone in the division above. But if you close him down, he's very ineffective and he goes backwards an awful lot. So we need somebody to free him up for him to be able to play his passes. And when you look through the squad at the moment, there is a real dearth of lack of central midfield players. And we're going back a couple of seasons when it's felt like almost every player in the team was a central midfield player. It did feel that way. And I'm struggling at the moment to think where they've all gone, because we've got James Ball, who came here as a midfielder stroke defender, barely ever plays in midfield, usually plays in defence. We've got a converted centre forward playing in the centre of midfield. And Ollie Clark, who, as we've said, is a central midfield player, generally plays in the centre of defence most of the time for us. So we really do have a dearth of central midfield players. And that's where a strong, would say his name again, Nambi Offerbor. We said it last season. We never replaced him in the window. We needed somebody of his ilk to have been able to stand up to players in the centre of midfield. We did get overrun in the centre of midfield against Cheltenham. We did get overrun in the centre of midfield by Crawley. So there is your area that we really must strengthen for me.
Yeah, Wright, of course, can play midfield too, can't he? Because I think they've used him in training in midfield as well. Or they certainly.
But
did
he is one of
Crawley
those
when he was
sitting
there.
midfielders, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's not going to get around the pitch. He's going to sit in front of the back two, and he's going to pass the ball from there. You don't fancy him as a tough tackling midfield player.
No,
that's what we're missing. Somebody who's really going to drive the game forward.
You've got a Kilkenny shirt behind you, Declan. Might be the Irish contingent. I don't know, really. Might be. But what do you think? I mean, it is an important month, isn't it? Not only the fact that, we might get players in, but there might be one or two players that people are looking at as well.
Yeah, and one of them we've just mentioned is Gavin Kilkenny, who certainly is attracting, I'm sure, a lot of attention and observation from higher ranked clubs. Two things, just in general, just talking about Ollie Palmer. I mean, what constitutes a foul in this game anymore? And the other thing is the fabric of the shirt that he's wearing. I mean, how many times on Saturday was he pulled, dragged to the ground, no free kick given? It's a source of huge, huge annoyance. Back to your question. Yeah, Gav is one player, no doubt, who is being looked at, I'm sure, by other clubs from higher level. I agree with the point that he does need a protector in there to allow him to play his natural game. Defensively, I think we probably need to strengthen as well. The only area I would say we're probably safe on is our goalkeeping department. Full credit to Conor Ripley for his save on Saturday, because he wasn't involved in the game very much. And as we know, it's a sign of a good goalkeeper. His concentration levels are kept high, that he's able to make a save like that. But I'm sure Ian Holloway is sitting down with his people at the moment and going through lists and targets, and he knows what's required. Do we need an extra striker? Not sure. I think we're probably okay with what we have, to be honest with you. The potential is there for them, and to get someone who's going to get 10 goals between now and the end of the season, I think is virtually impossible. But yeah, it's a busy period coming up, but it has been a busy period already in the month of December. Look at all the games that we played across 3 competitions. And here we are, Christmas week, and we're still involved in 3 competitions. And I would say that the Virtue Trophy, which has been much maligned over the years, should be given some respect by the club this year, which I think in fairness it is. It's an opportunity to get to Wembley. It's an opportunity to win a trophy. And they don't come along too often for us. Yeah,
I'd be interested to see if Jerry Yates plays against us, won't it? He was at the campground recently with that reunion of the 1920 team. Mark says we should be able to sign some good players in January, as you're more likely to get a player joining a team doing well rather than a team that's struggling. Anna, good point, isn't it? I mean, they are doing well. If they want to do well in their career, join a club that is doing well. Fair point, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Holloway's mentioned that as well, hasn't he? And I think anyone looking from the outside in and talking with and knowing Holloway knows that players coming down are going to get a chance as well. They're not going to come and be a bit part. The one question that is probably being considered is what happens with Ehab Achuman. Does he continue? Does he potentially go back? And if he goes back, does another striker, a lone striker, come in? If they did, it would probably be, as Declan said, you're not going to sign. You're unlikely to be able to sign an experienced striker at this point. I would say you're going to pick somebody up, another potential star, another loanee from somewhere. So I think we need to look at that in the spirit of being able to run at the defences. So we talked about Butterworth. When's Butterworth due back? Is it March time? Is it that long?
Yeah, something around there. Yeah. Somewhere around that time. I mean,
the main role that those players play is, when you're 1-0 up like we were on Saturday, potentially going to be under the cosh, say last 10 minutes, they'll come and give the opposition defence something to think about. And I think we're really struggling with that at the moment. I think Tabor does need a goal, but and fair play to him Saturday, he came on and ran his legs off, didn't he, for 10 minutes? But he was totally on his own. Totally on his own up front there, and I'd really like to see, aside from potential strengthening, is somebody running onto those flicks that Palmer. Palmer does get his head to stuff, and rarely is there somebody, Glatzel or even Drinan, to be fair, running onto that flick. And I think we could get a lot more from that. So, I guess that's something that Holloway's wanting to do. But I think there'll be a couple of new faces coming in, and potentially that central midfield berth is another one, isn't it? The mind for Kilkenny, because even when Clark's back, I know he said he's feeling really fit, but he's going to have had 4 or 5 weeks without keeping his match fitness, and that might impact him as well, might it? So those are the two areas really I think we need to look at.
Yeah, I think Ian Holloway said that Clark had flu anyway at the weekend, didn't he? So he may not have been fit to have played. I was just trying to.
I wouldn't tell the EFL that, because they'll add another game to his.
Yeah,
ban,
they'll
so
have
that's
another
what we're
game.
doing.
Yeah, we couldn't have played. Oh, he was suspended for another one then. Oh, okay, fair enough. Actually, Adrian. Yeah, hi, Adrian. If McCurdy was playing and he'd scored, he would have shot every fan in the town then. What he means by that, the old. So he was an expert at that, wasn't he? I don't recall him getting booked, though, on any occasion. Mark, discuss the differences in English and American English language then. You are an English teacher. Here's your opportunity.
Oh, we're not going to talk about football. We're going to talk about the difference between the English and American language.
Yes,
Rob.
absolutely.
Some spelling differences, I suspect. Yeah, there's a few of those, aren't there?
Yeah, colour being one, is that? Yeah.
I'd rather talk about the football though.
Yeah, let's talk about the football. At one point, I was gone. Replacements, departures.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking. I mean, it's just a sort of a combination of what people have kind of already said. I mean, Rob, I think, alluded to the offer bore, and we haven't got Steele in midfield, and that is a plain fact. I'm with Anna as well. I quite like Darren Oldacre. I think I see a player in there. But I don't see him as a player in there when you've got two in midfield, because he's just going to be totally overrun. And we have been overrun in the last two home games, without a doubt. Whoever we put in there, part of the reason for that is the lack of legs. We haven't got legs. We've got Kilkane's a very good player. He's very astute. He's very good on the ball. We've said that he needs a minder. Off the ball would have been the perfect minder in Clark's absence. And we've got Oldacre, a converted striker in Nichols. I think Wright could potentially play in midfield if Ball doesn't, but it still doesn't mean that we've got any legs. And you look at these young, fit Crawley and Cheltenham lads, they ran rings around us in midfield, basically, didn't they? If they'd had somebody half decent up front, we could have lost that game 3-0 quite easily. We're settled in defence. I think I've really warmed to Knight LaBelle. I think he's playing really, really well. I like Phil Mbete. I see bit of a loose cannon there at times, but I like him. I think he's got real potential. He's a bit raw. Tafazoli, I mean, how many years have we been crying out for a defender to come off the bench and go, right, Christ, it's 6'8". What do I want? I want the bloke to head the ball out at the end. I don't want anybody fanning about with it. The ball comes in the box, head it out, get it out, block it. And we did that. Saturday was a game we'd have lost in previous years, or at the very least drawn. And the fact we come away from it with a 1-0 win was massive, I think. So improve us in midfield, definitely. We do. I said earlier on, we need pace in wide areas. We must have players who can get to the byline. Count how many times we got round the back of the Crawley defence on Saturday. I don't think we did. I don't think there was once. Maybe the penalty where, and I think it was a penalty, by the way, and maybe there was a really nice move towards the end of the game where I think Glatzel had a shot that was saved by the keeper low down. But aside from that, we're not getting round teams. We're not going round on the outside of a fullback and getting the ball crossed in from the byline, because we haven't really got the pace to do that. Monroe's had a couple of goes where he's just got it and taken out of his feet and tried to cross it. So I'm sure Holloway's astute, like Anna was saying. Yeah. He knows he's got a list. He'll be working through it. He'll be working through all sorts of players. Are they available? Prince Will is a big question mark for me. I saw a bloke at Cardiff when he made his debut who was electric. You looked at him and you thought, this lad is going to score 15 goals, and he's been nowhere last few games. Is he injured? Does he want to be there? You can't knock a young lad too much, because you don't know what's going on in the background, and he's away from home. But his performances, I'm afraid, don't warrant a start, certainly. They don't even necessarily warrant a place on the bench at the moment. I think I prefer to see Tabor come on. But I just wonder, I question where the Princeville that I saw at Cardiff has gone. because he was really good. I mean, he was absolutely electric in the way that he ran at defenders. He scored a great goal, could have scored another one or two.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happened there. Holloway will know, and he'll know what the ins and outs of it are, and he'll know whether it is just confidence or whether the lad is a bit homesick or he wants to go back or what. But you can't carry players. We can't carry anybody in a squad of 18 or 20. We've got to have everybody right at it, bang at it for the rest of the season if we're going to go up. Because this league, there's no hiding places, are there? It's tough football.
Yeah, it is.
Division
Yeah.
4 football.
What are your thoughts, folks, on Billy Bowden? What are your
Well,
thoughts
I
on Billy Bowden?
quite like
How's
Billy
he
Bowden,
fitting
Declan. Yeah, I quite like him. But he's not going to run away from players. He's 34. He can be quite good on the ball. But I think the thing that we're lacking is somebody, I think it was Rob saying, Palmer wins the flick-ons. The reason we don't get to the flick-ons, by the way, because the formation is 4-3-3. So he's playing a central striker, and he's playing effectively two wide strikers, and they're not near the central striker when he's knocking the ball down. So inevitably, and there's not a midfielder bursting onto it either. So we're winning games by sort of wars of attrition, like I said earlier on, and I definitely think he needs to freshen it up with 2 or 3 players. So I hope they do, because if they do, it will show we're serious about going up to League One.
You
Well,
point to
Tony
a really
says-
good one, Mark, for me. I think that's the key with Palmer. The way we play is we're going to put the ball long to him. So you've got to have somebody to run off him. And if you haven't got that, and your formation doesn't fit it, which it doesn't at the moment, you have to change your formation. For me, I think we definitely need to go either 4-4-2 at home or 4-2-3-1 with the 3.
Not a chance he'll go 4-4-2. He won't play that formation, I don't.
No, I know, but that's what it's crying out for. And it's crying out for Palmer to have either somebody alongside him or one of the other attacking players to be a lot closer to him. That's the key, I think.
Agreed.
Right. Tony says at least we'll have Drinan back against Cheltenham. Gordon says not sold on Oldacre. Wants too much time on the ball and not good at tracking back to defend. He's a 10, not a defensive midfielder, says Gary, who says, I hope Munro stays. We are short on left-sided players with Kirkman out and Delaney out of favour. Ryan McGregor could be Joel McGregor could be used as a midfielder if need be. Ball's done all right in midfield, to be fair, says Paul. Thing with Tabor, he mainly plays on the wing. Same at Bath. Lots of comments coming in. Thank you very much indeed for this. The possession stats are quite interesting on Saturday. Swindon 40.6%, Crawley 59.4%. So Swindon had 6, Crawley had 17. On target, Swindon 2, Crawley 4. Now let's have a look at the league table. Top of the tree at Christmas on goal difference, Walsall, 40 points from 21 games, goal difference of 11. Then comes Swindon, 21 played, 40 points, 10 goal difference. Bromley in third, 39 points from 21 games, 11 goal difference. And then the next 4, Notts County, MK Dons, Salford and Chesterfield on 38, 36, 36, 35 games respectively. MK Dons last 6 games, 1 drawn, 1 lost, drawn, 1. Swindon's last 6, drawn, 1 lost, 1. So 2 wins on a bounce, Liam. Do we go there with confidence, a point? What do you reckon?
I think the top, if you look actually at those stats you've just said, Vic, I think the top 8 are virtually the same. They've won 3, drawn 2, lost 1, apart from Bromley. I think the rest are all similar. Walsall, MK Dons, us. It's a 6-pointer. It's a 6-pointer. Boxing Day. We got to go for the win. I want us to do that. And actually, I prefer the fact it's the first game because the players will be a little bit fitter than they would be maybe on Monday with Cheltenham or Gillingham on New Year's Day, for example. So. I mean, this is a tough game. I'm not able to get there on Boxing Day. I guess a number of you all are going there. We will have a noisy crowd. It's a bit of a cemetery, that ground, isn't it? And it's very quiet. And I suppose you guys will be up in the gods or something, so you won't make as much noise. But I think we can really, if we can quieten the crowd even more than they're quiet already. A bit like we did at Rovers, I think we could really do something here. They chopped and changed last week to win 4-0. I know they won 4-0, but they've had some injuries as well. They're not in a great place in the sense of they've spent an awful lot of money. They're buying themselves out of the league. They're going to do the same in January. They're going to spend an awful lot of money. As long as they don't sign any of ours. They remind me a little bit of Blackburn all those years ago, older viewers.
Oh, yes. Duncan Shearer.
In the sense of they're going to try and buy their way out of this, and they'll buy some decent players. Let's hope they go to Notts County and buy their strikers rather than ours.
Yeah.
Let's say they go to, they're looking at those sort of stuff. So we got to beat them this week because we got the chance to beat them before they strengthen in January. They've been favourites, haven't they, since before the season started? And they're still a franchise, and they've still got no soul. And, they'll never be Dons. There's only one set of Dons, and they're in the division above us at the moment. I don't like them.
The thing is about I really love that stadium, though. I think it's a magnificent stadium, but there's never everybody in it. And it's a real shame because it's a wasted stadium as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's comfortable. There's plenty of food facilities. There's lots of stuff around it. It's a great stadium. Totally wasted. Carlisle is...
It's a manufactured football club, Vic.
I'm not talking about the football club, though, Declan. I'm talking about the stadium itself, which is a fantastic venue. And I really, really enjoy going there.
It gives us an incentive, Vic. That's all I mean.
I would mention Carlisle, of course, last year. They spent a lot of money too, but they still went down, didn't they? So it doesn't always follow. Gus, you're going to be with us on New Year's Day, which we're very excited about. Your first visit to the county ground against Gillingham. You're looking forward to it?
We're looking forward to it very much. My wife and two sons and I are going to come and be there for the game on New Year's Day, which will be just a few days after our 1 year anniversary of starting to follow Swindon. Which is going to be a lot of fun. And I was just talking to my younger son today, and he's been to one soccer game in his life, a football game in his life. I was a college women's game, and I've been to 3, which 2 of them were my son. For 1 year, his high school had a soccer team, and he played part-time. So I went to 2 of the games, and then I went to 1 game years ago, a girls' high school game. So I've never actually been to a soccer game really before, and I'm looking forward to seeing the spectacle of it all.
Well, okay.
Well, I will just tell you that on television, I have to watch here from the U.S. Obviously, the field looks absolutely fabulous. I mean,
it is. Yeah, it looks
pitch,
fantastic.
The stands, it looks like people are having a really good time. We're really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we don't have all the ceremonial stuff that you do in the States. We don't have marching bands, things like that.
As long as you have cheerleaders and fireworks, we'll be fine.
Moving on swiftly.
Guys, you need to get used to British ironic humour here. We'll always parody ourselves,
Exactly.
No, it'll be great to have you there, and I think we all welcomed you into the Swindon Town family, and it's been great to have your input. So it'd be great to have your input following on from actually going to a game, which will be fantastic.
We're looking forward to it very much. And thank you. You're being very kind. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, what's impressed you about it mostly in the last 12 months? Because there you are. You've come from absolutely nothing. You had no idea about this crazy football club. What's impressed you mostly?
I mean, obviously the team has been, if you look at the first game we watched, which was December 26th last year till today, somebody already said that in the calendar year or in the last 12 months, the team's been phenomenal. They've been really, really, really good. We had some ups and downs, but really good. And it's really enjoyable. The other thing that I just like about English football that I've learned, and I'm advocating it for our American football, collegiate football, is relegation and promotion. It's scary, but I think it's got a lot of advantages. It makes people play hard. It gives everybody a fair chance. You're not stuck in a bad conference that you'll never get out of, kind of thing, which happens here. Teams in American football get disrespected no matter how good they are if they're not in a good conference. And I don't expect you to necessarily understand the context of that, but I love the competition of relegation and promotion. I will say my son that I was talking to this morning was saying, last year when we started watching, Swindon was, I think, in 19th place in the chart. I think we might have fallen to 21st in a week or two after we started watching, something like that. And then it occurred to us that if we had been relegated, we could never watch on TV anymore. and our experiment watching Swindon would be over. Because
Yeah.
the EFL 1 or EFL 2, I can't watch on iFollow at lower levels, I don't think.
No, it's
Let's not do
interesting
that.
what you said about promotion and relegation. Of course, you could be in an NFL conference and go, I don't know, 0-16, as you would say in America, and still not get relegated. It just seems ridiculous,
Never.
doesn't it? You
Never.
still stay in the same section. So Tony is looking forward to meeting you in the Legends before the game. So you must come in the Legends, and we'll sort that out for you. So we're all looking forward to it, Gus, very much indeed. Rob, how do you assess it then? We are approaching the halfway stage of the season. If you think back to before Boxing Day last year, if you'd said to us in 12 months' time we'd be joint top of League Two, we might have fallen about laughing. I mean, it has been a remarkable transformation, hasn't it?
Yeah, and we're only really thinking about things that we can improve because we just so desperately want to get out of this division in the right way, don't we? And exactly what you say, sometimes we lose sight of how quickly we've transformed from what was a team absolutely staring relegation in the face when we lost at Colchester 4-0 at the start of December last year. There didn't appear to be any way back at that point in time. I'll always remember that coach trip home thinking this could very well be the end of our Football League careers. There seems no real way back here. And to a team now where we're disappointed if we go away to Milton Keynes and don't win. It's that sort of level that we're at now. And as Liam mentioned a few minutes ago, they've spent more in their transfer window in the summer than almost every team in the league above, let alone the teams in our division. So that's what we're competing with now. And we'll be disappointed if we go to Milton Keynes without the leading scorer in the league, without a number of other players who are either suspended or injured, and don't come away with something. So that is a testament to itself in terms of how far the bar has moved from where we were 12, 13 months ago to where we are now. And we can't lose sight of that. But of course, you can never look back in football. You've got to look forward. And what is important now is what happens in the next game, not what's happened in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
We could have a calendar year that puts us top of League Two. But if by the end of May or end of April, start of May, we're not in that position, then we're still going to have the same grumbles that we had 12 months ago. So we have to build on this. The key thing here is we have to build in this January transfer window. If we lose players in the January transfer window, we must replace them with better, because we must get out of this division this year. We'll never get a better chance
No,
than
it's
this.
the best chance. Yeah, I agree with you. It's interesting because Gary has said here some reports Bradford are after Dryden for £250,000. Well, we know
Put
the
naught
history
on
of
it.
Yeah, we know the sort of Swindon strikers who've gone back to Bradford, don't we, and not done very well. Jake Young, for instance. Declan, your thoughts on the last 12 months? I know we shouldn't look back, but it has been remarkable. I mean, your trips last season across the Irish Sea to watch Swindon on a Saturday were never that cheerful, I'm guessing, but they are now.
They were from this time last year onwards. So we started Boxing Day last year with the away draw at Wimbledon, didn't we? And then we went to Bromley a few days later and got another draw. So it was upwards and onwards from that. But yeah, certainly there were some times last season when you just really considered your sanity and maybe giving up football and taking up some other game as a supporter. But look, it's in the blood, and every season you come back with renewed confidence. Whether it's founded or not remains to be seen. But so far, so good this season. It's been a tremendous effort by the players on the pitch, by Holloway, and you'd have to say, probably in fairness, the ownership as well for backing him. But they need now to take it to the next level in January. Protect our star players such as Drin and Kilkenny, one or two others who might be under scrutiny from other clubs, and go and find players that can kick us on for the second half of the season. So I'm pretty optimistic, Vic, that we will have a good Christmas. I'd like nothing better, obviously, to beat the MK Dons on Saturday for a start, or Friday rather, for historical reasons in football. But to go to Cheltenham and get those 3 points back that we gifted them a couple of weeks back at the county ground. So 6 out of 6 at Christmas would be nice, but I think realistically we might just get 4 out of it.
I'm kind of half laughing because John has just messaged in to say the mystery person seems to have wandered out of your living room, Gus, with your television. Which I don't think it's the case, but it did make me tickle me when I read that. Anyway, Anna, more serious matters. It is extraordinary, and the point that Rob had made is an absolutely valid one. If we don't get out this season, we're never going to get out this flipping league, are we? We have to get out this season, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best chance we've had, isn't it, in many years? So yeah, I would agree. And you have to strengthen in the January window. You can't rest on your laurels. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know whether players will stay fit. So you have to look at what will make sense. And you can bet they're doing that within the boundaries of what's possible, financially and so on. I can't imagine. I can just imagine Holloway in interview being asked about Kilkenny and or Drennan leaving, and him giving the same response he did about Smith last year, which was jog on. You cannot let the likes of those players go unless they hold their hands up and go, I want out. I can't imagine they really do at this point. You've got to keep those players as well as try to strengthen. So yeah, I mean it's going to be a long window for various reasons, but and hopefully through that as well, whether we bring in players or not, we're still there or thereabouts in those automatic places by the time that window closes. So being there right now is phenomenal. I was kind of envisaging that we would maybe do as we did maybe in the Di Canio season, and kind of run away with things and just leave everyone behind. That's the way I'd like to win promotion, but it's not going to be like that. You can see it's going to be a little bit attritional for various reasons. There's a lot of good sides at the top, but at the same time, there are a lot of sides that can't quite sustain that long winning run, and we're seeing that all over the place. Maybe that's because there's a lot of sides on parity and a lot of good competition. But let's hope perhaps we can be the ones to put that run together and maybe make some clear air between us and the other contenders.
The Macari Championship, of course, age 586. That was a sensational second half of the season. Sort of top of the table at the turn of the year, and then they romped away with it. So a similar situation. Mark, your thoughts as we come to the sort of closing stages of 2025? I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
No, it seems amazing that we've played 22 games already. What I like about Holloway as a player was always a fighter. You love him or loathe him, and he's a gashead at heart, and still probably is.
Yeah,
he's got a team of fighters as well, and they fought on Saturday. And you couldn't look around and go, oh, he isn't trying, he isn't giving 100%. Every single one of those players was knackered. Part of the reason they were knackered is because they're chasing the ball for much of the game. 40% possession flies in the face of what we've been used to over the last few seasons, but that doesn't matter. We don't care about that. We don't care about the stat that said we had 70% possession and the other team had 30%, but they won 3-0.
1-0.
We won 1-0. That's the stat that counts. So in terms of the way he's changed the game and the players and the football club in a year, hats off to him. There's a team now of real scrappers and fighters. You have to have that as well as a bit of quality to get out of this league. So, what we've got to do, as Anna rightly said, is to build on that. You can't rest on it. You can't say, right, we've done it, because it's half a job. Nobody's going to be satisfied now with, I would say, even top 7. I think we have to be in one of the 3 automatic slots to say this has been a successful season, having been at the top for so long now. And the only way you get that is by doing more of the same, but also bringing in a couple more players, having that same kind of never say die attitude, and that fitness as well. That's a big factor too. I think you referred to the Macari years. Vic, what happened in the Macari years? We won games in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Why did we win games in the last 15 or 20 minutes? Because the players are fit, and they're fit again this time. So I have every hope that we can kick on from here. Next 4 league games, you'd have to be looking probably, realistically, 2 wins out of the 3: MK Dons, Gillingham, and Cheltenham, and Harrogate away. You might be looking at maybe 9 points out of 12, fingers crossed, and then you're right up there, aren't we? Still, and what we don't want to do is lose momentum by losing a couple of games, and then you start looking over your shoulder and thinking, right, we're slipping, because the league is so tight. There's so few points between the top and even like mid-table, really. So you've just got to kick on. More of the same, please. Players, if you listen to this, keep fighting because we love what you're doing, and we want to be celebrating with you at the end because we've only had a chance to do that about twice in the last 10 years, 12 years.
Well,
Wellens and Di Canio, that's about the only two managers that have taken us up, isn't it? In the last
yeah. Well, the
10
trouble,
years
of course, with the Wellens promotion, we didn't have a chance to celebrate it, did we? Because of
No.
COVID. So when we had the reunion the other week, that was what's so lovely about it. You could actually enjoy the evening with the players that did it. But at
we
the
all missed
time,
that, didn't we? Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Di Canio one was the only other one.
And that's amazing in itself to think of a club the size of Swindon Town, because whatever anybody says, we are a proper football club. We're not a manufactured MK Dons football club. We're not a I bought you football club like Salford. We are a proper football club with proper tradition and history, and the league we play our level at, traditionally is League One. So we need to be there. We need to be there this season.
Yeah, we do. Right, just quickly, let's go around the panel. What are you doing for Christmas, Liam?
Well, a nice day with the family. Christmas Day, thank you for that. Boxing Day, I'll watch on screen the MK Dons game. I'm at Cheltenham because I live in Cheltenham, so I'll be at that away game. I think we're going to win that one.
Please.
And adding on to Mark, I think we'll get 10 points out of 12. Is my thought. And then I'll be obviously at the Gillingham game. So some rest, some work, and some play.
Excellent, Gus.
And
I know you'll be on.
Have a good one.
Yeah, and Gus, I know you'll be on a transatlantic jet as we enter into 2026. But what's a Gus type Christmas for you? How's that go?
Well, we'll have a traditional Swedish Yule board on Christmas Eve dinner, and then just very relaxed day on Christmas Day. Take some walks, sit around the fire, that kind of thing, and then we head out on the 30th to come to the UK.
Brilliant. And how long are you here for?
We'll be there till the 8th.
Very good. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you very much indeed, and very good wishes for the festive period whilst you're there. So,
thank you to you all.
Rob, I'm travelling to MK Dons, obviously Boxing Day, and Harrogate on the blah 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 blah. What else are you doing?
It'll be the traditional mayhem, I should imagine, Vic, as it is year after year after year. It's what you all look forward to 364 days prompt everywhere you are, isn't it? It's always the same. Yeah. So it'll be the usual opening presents, chucking paper, trying to find paper, where the stuff that we bought for each other went, and then by the time we've eaten a lot, drunk a lot, got to the end of probably about 2:00 in the morning on Boxing Day, suddenly think I've got to get up again and go to Milton Keynes soon. I probably want to go to bed. So that's probably the way it will end. But hey, it's Christmas, and that's what it's all about. So
as Noddy Holder famously said, it's Christmas. Declan,
absolutely.
What's an Irish Christmas like?
Very traditional, Vic. Pub Christmas Eve. We don't have the pub here on Christmas Day yet, but a nice family day home, and then have negotiations to get the television for Boxing Day and Monday night. That's my challenge for the next couple of days. So if anyone's got any advice on how to buy some screen time, I'd be very interested to know.
Grab the remote control. Just grab it.
I'll buy a second television.
Some very nice presents, Declan.
I'll buy a second television, as I was told today, but there you go.
Fair point. Anna?
I know we usually sit around trying to make up new football chants. No, not really. But yeah, usual stuff for us. If it's going to feel like a bit of a diet of football somehow, with all those games coming thick and fast and whatever else is thrown at us on the box. So yeah, mostly that stuff going on really.
And Mark,
I'm going to play with my grandson, because he's an absolute legend. He's called Theo, and we're going to play Stack of Cups and Spinny Spins, and only people watching who know me will know what that means. I may even see this really strange sister of mine a bit later on Christmas, and I'm going to start the 3K to MK campaign here. So, Swindon fans, if you're listening, we need to take 3,000 to MK. That's not too ambitious. It's not too far. So you just need to shake off your Christmas lethargy, and get out there and come and join us and make loads of noise. in a soulless
Positive
bowl
noise
and
all
see
the
us
way through.
destroy MK for the second time in a matter of months. That would be
Yeah,
my wish,
Let's do
really.
it.
So
Fair
let's get
enough.
out there. 3K to MK, please. Come on, let's do
You
it.
might be persuading me, Mark. I might see you up there.
Yeah, do it.
yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Do it.
3,000 will outnumber them, Mark.
I might even buy you a beer if you're lucky.
It's not
Oh,
far, is it? Let's be honest. It's not the
No.
biggest journey in the world. So,
2
Boxing
hours.
Day, football.
I'll work
you
on
know,
senior
come on.
management. Thank you.
Do it.
Um,
Do it. Get
yes,
them to
well,
come as well.
yeah, absolutely right. And we've got grandchildren here, so the house will be tidied up for Christmas Day and then destroyed on Christmas Day. So that's the way it goes, really. Ray, are you there, Ray?
I am Vic. Yeah.
Hello. What are you up to? Christmas Day.
Yeah, a family Christmas Day, and I've decided I am going to MK on Boxing Day because it's I've missed out over the years because my parents got married on Boxing Day at the end of the war, and that kind of in later life with sort of brothers and sisters coming home, that it became a family day. So I usually missed Boxing Day, and so kind of that put the kibosh on my football historically from the Boxing Day. But to be fair to my dad, he actually played football on the morning of his wedding on Boxing Day, so I kind
Fair
of
enough.
he did his bit for the football gods, I think. Anyway, yeah.
Good man. Well done. Yes, very good indeed. Well, we'll see you there. Excellent. Looking forward to it a lot. Obviously, Boxing Day fixtures, they're unique, really, aren't they? They've got a great atmosphere. I'm sure they do in the States when they have sort of festive games as well, Gus, but there is a definite sort of atmosphere about Boxing Day, different to any other day. Tony says his grandchildren are going for their first away match. Well, that's lovely. Well done.
Is
to
it
that.
okay to take my hat, Vic? Do you think?
Yeah, of course you can
Are we
take your
going, are
hat.
we going Christmas hats?
Is it Christmas jumper or is it too late? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah,
Too
I'll
but
be
I'll
in
have my
mine.
coat on, won't I? So won't see my
Yeah.
jumper.
All right, we'll take your jumpers.
Let's bear in mind, folks, as well, the tradition of Boxing Day football. Certain people are trying to erode it. Okay, top flight this year.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
game,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
on Boxing
Maybe
Day.
there'll be a few
Second.
neutrals at MK.
British and American friends, it's called St. Stephen's Day, isn't it, Declan? It's not Boxing
It
Day.
is in Ireland. It's St. Stephen's Day. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much indeed for all of you. So are they on the naughty or nice list? What did you say, Santa? Oh, you're all on the nice list, so you're going to get presents. That's okay, isn't it? Well done. Thank you very much indeed. And we'll see you not next Monday because there's a little matter of Cheltenham away. So negotiations about the possible Tuesday night panel. We'll see how it goes. Chris is at the carol service tonight, so I can't actually talk to her about it. The mysterious person's just gone across again. Gus.
Return the telly, Gus.
She's getting firewood off the front porch.
Brilliant. Lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Fools Rush In is at 9 o'clock if you want more Swindon
Have a good
Town
Christmas,
Fair.
everyone.
Yeah. Thanks all. See you then.
Merry
Happy
Christmas all.
Christmas,
Have a
everybody.
good one,
Merry
guys.
Christmas all.
3 points for Saturday Friday.